Hi, my guides are here today to bring through some pretty amazing messages about the solar flash, time, and how that is shifting and the structure of it and our awareness of it as we ascend, as well as the new Earth grid system that we are going to be opening up to and opening that involves these sacred sites around the planet. There's chock full of information here. They go pretty deep, so stay tuned. I hope you can watch till the end, and let's go ahead and jump in and hear what they have to say.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?
Okay, before we get started, I have one announcement to make. Applications are still open for the retreat in Egypt that I am hosting with my friend Karen Glass in November. If you would like to join us in Egypt, this is a huge time of activation as we transcend through this time to these higher times and really activate and open up into these energies that will be coming back online in the pyramids and the temples and structures there in Egypt that were built by these ancient high dimensional beings. So if you would like to join us, we are collecting applications through the end of February. So hop on it. We can only take 16 people. So if you're interested, go ahead and put your application in, and we hope to have you there with us in Egypt. Okay, so we're going pretty in depth today. The angels are here and they are talking mostly, but I also work with these Arcturian beings and sometimes they like to pop in. So they've popped in a little bit as well. They told me that they work as a team. So we are here to hear what they have to bring through about the solar flash time and these sacred places around the earth and the new grid that is forming. So let's go ahead and hop in, and I interrupt just a little bit to explain some things because they do get pretty technical and deep here, and I just want to make sure we're understanding at a more practical level. So let's go ahead and hear what the angels have to say. Okay, so they are talking to me about the future here and a future version of ourselves. Right now, there is a future version of us that is working with us specifically and individually to help pull us into the moment of our own solar flash. So they're bringing forward even the version of me that is experiencing the solar flash. And this is just our initiation into the higher energies. It's us releasing these thick cords that keep us stuck into the third dimensional consciousness. So the solar flash is like our own light coming in or coming out, and then even the light of, the universe, the higher dimensions coming in. So it's a twofold process. And it feels like they're telling me this happens on an individual basis. But since we are a collective, a lot of us are working towards it happening around the same time. And they're saying also that since time doesn't actually exist, everything is happening at the same time because it's all a matter of just frequency. We're all operating in different frequency. That's what time is. It's a frequency measure. It's almost like when if someone experiences the flash for themselves in April and someone else experiences it in May, because they are matching at the same frequency, it's as if they jump up on the same timeline at that time and they're experiencing the flash at the same time. So it's individual, yet it is collective for a lot of people. So that is why it often shows up in channel for people that it's a whole group of us experiencing it at the same time. Yes and no. Yes, because this is a collective experience where we are all working towards the same point. And it feels like it could be days apart that some people experience it and others experience it. But it is all about, are we all on this trajectory towards reaching the fullness of this higher consciousness? They're saying right now, our um, our future self that is experiencing this moment of the flash is working with us. It is a moment of huge realization. And it feels like for a lot of us, it is coming this year. They cannot say it will be this date or it will be this time. That is up to you. It feels like you get to say yes to things and honor yourself, and it will draw you into your moment of the flash. And since no time is not real, I just want to explain this. They're making me feel as if, and again, this is the angels talking here. It's as if we have these moments of realization. We are allowing ourselves to step into experience and honoring of ourselves. It feels like deep moment of release. And as this release happens, then the light opens up. And it's as if there are some of us who are working towards this point. We are saying yes to the releasing of any of these lower energies so that we can get to this point. So, right now, it may feel intense and chaotic because we are being faced with the deepest cord that keeps us attached to these lower energies. This could be different for everybody. They're bringing in the terms lack. Lack is a huge one for people, that I won't have enough, I'm not provided for. Lack, victimhood, and resentment is another one. And it feels like these three energies are huge energies. They kind of circulate each other. They're almost brothers and sisters with each other, and they all like help create each other, these three feelings. They're not saying that exempts other feelings of sadness or grief or anger, but these feel like the deepest rooted ones, that when we come into these states, they all help create each other, and then that creates that tangling that has been brought through before. So this is what we are learning to release right now. And it doesn't mean that everything is flowing and easy. It means we are allowing this to come up. And by things feeling more intense and chaotic, we know that we are moving closer to this point because we are being given the opportunity to continue to honor ourselves and release, release, release. Okay, so this is really big. They're talking about the solar flash here, that it is an individual experience, but because of how time actually works, that makes it a collective experience. Now, um, what's happening with the solar flash is it's available for people to experience, but everyone's going to experience it in a different way and at a different time, the way that we see time. They're going to talk more about time here as we move into the transmission more. But what they're saying is it's an individual thing, and it's about a deep release that happens. So basically, we're opening up space in our body for more light to come in and more light to be shown out. So we're opening up like our light body, basically. So the flash is this deep release of these final chords that keep us attached to the third dimensional realm. So there's like a detox that happens in order for the flash to be fully experienced by you. So a lot of us are going through that release and detox right now, and it may feel like there's a lot of like dark, intense feelings coming up for us or situations happening in our life. And that's a sign that you're getting close. It's like, wow, this feels really deep, really rooted for me. And if I can learn what's actually here, what my circumstances are reflecting to me, I can have more of a deep release and realization. It's a realization, a higher understanding that helps release the lower awareness that you've been stuck in. So, for example, they're bringing through these energies of lack, victimhood, and resentment. These feel like really deep, dark ties to the third dimensional realm. And when we find ourselves in these types of energies and consciousness for ourselves, that is a sign that it's asking us to release our tie to it. So when we feel that, it's like, okay, we want to ask what's actually here. Resentment itself, if you think about it, how it is the energy that creates cancer in the body. So these energies are like a cancer, and we're learning to release them so that, yeah, our body can have more health and things like that. We're not attached to these lower energies and that density, and more of the light can come in. So when we have this on an individual basis, this release, it also creates a collective happening as well. So it makes the flash itself more accessible to other people, and that energy fans out. So if someone has, their deep release and the flash takes place for them at the end of April, and they live in California, and then let's say there's someone else who lives in Dubai, and this takes place for them, a week or two later at the beginning of May. And it's like that's happening individually, but because they're experiencing the same frequency, which they're stepping into that 144,000 frequency, and the solar flash, that's what it is. They're experiencing the flash at the same time, because time is actually just frequency, and it's a level or a plane of existence that we're existing in. And we're constantly shifting through these different frequencies and planes of existence throughout our day and our awakening life. So this may seem really complicated, but just digest, and how much, however much you can take in is great. And they're also bringing through energy and codes to help us comprehend it. So they're really going to get into time here further, and how this initiates us into this next stage and what it really means. They're saying we want you to understand something about time. Time is just a place of existence. It is not what you think it is, like the hours on a clock. That is just a measurement that you use so you can track the day and the night. That's all. What someone experiences at 5 o'clock in one place, someone will have a different experience of 5 o'clock in another place, because you are all working in different vibrations and frequencies. But if you are at a version of the planet at 5 o'clock in a certain time zone, and someone else in a different time zone who is at the same frequency as you, and you are both having a similar experience, but it's at a different quote unquote time that is on your clock, how is someone experiencing the same energy at the same time, but yet they're in different time zones? Does this make sense to you? So this is an example of how time, in the way that you see it, does not exist. Because two people who are in completely different locations on the planet and completely different time zones are experiencing the same energy and having similar experience at different quote unquote times on your clock. So that is why time does not exist. It is all about an energy and a frequency that you are in. It is about a plane of existence that you are on. If you think about the eras that we're bringing forward, the 1600s, the Dark Ages, the Renaissance, things like that. These are all different eras, but a version of you could be in the same energy and vibration as the version of you right now that exists now compared to the Renaissance. But if you are in the Renaissance having the same energy and frequency and vibration that you're experiencing now, time does not exist. And you are able to connect with that version of you that exists during the Renaissance in a past life, what you would call regression, but you're just connecting with a version of you that is existing right now, because you are on the same plane of existence via frequency, via the vibration that you are choosing to be in. And that, the vibration, moves you into the same time and space. And this is how time does not exist. This is why when we say the collective is going to experience this thing together, it doesn't all happen for everyone at the same exact time or date. This is just a measurement that you use so you can calculate some sort of formulated schedule or organization for yourself, so your human brains can function in the way that they need to in this physical form. But time is not what you think. It is a frequency and plane of existence via vibration. We need you to know this so that you can collapse your third dimensional concept of time. You can communicate with someone telepathically. If you live in Massachusetts and they live in Hong Kong, China, you can communicate at the same time, send them energetic messages, even though the time difference might be 12 hours or whatever it may be. You will be able to be in the same vibration and frequency and connect at the same time, even though it is a different time in the locations that you are at. The construct of time that has been created in this third dimension is not real. It is here to keep you trapped so that you don't understand the concept of higher dimensional frequency and how you can tap into it. Time is a construct of the matrix, a scheduler to keep you to fall in line, to keep your brain thinking it needs to act in this very linear way, as opposed to seeing that it is expansive and we can bend time by stepping into a different frequency or vibration. Have you ever had so much fun and loved what you were doing? And the phrase time flies when you're having fun. It's almost like, wow, the day passed so quickly. It's because you are in a higher vibration. Whereas when you are in this lower dense vibration, it's like waiting for a pot to boil. 10 minutes can feel like 10 hours. And the time moves so slowly because you are in this density of vibration. We need you to understand this concept of time because you are going to begin working with versions of you and versions of civilizations that existed in different time periods, but very much exist now. The energy of these time periods is coming back online. The higher dimensional frequency of these times is coming back online for all of us to work together. We are talking about the time periods of ancient Egypt, of the Renaissance, of the Mayans, of the Incas, of Lemuria, of, the beautiful times in Atlantis. It is all coming back online, of the time in Lyra and Orion and all of these places. They're all coming back into the same time, the frequency of bandwidth that we are on. It is all coming back into our resonance for us to connect with each other. Time is frequency. We want you to understand this. You can bend time depending on the frequency that you are in. So this is really big. They really want us to know how time has kept us trapped. That the construct of time that has been developed in our third dimensional world is a structure that is here, that we've been told this is how time works, so that we don't understand our true power. So we're constantly just paying attention to, okay, now it's the afternoon, now the evening, now it's, 10 p.m., I got to go to bed, and then I wake up, and it's just like, how much can I fit into this block of time? But what they're essentially trying to tell us is that we can bend time by lifting our vibration into these higher frequencies, because time is actually a frequency and things happen faster, and we can put more into pack more into time when we're in these higher frequencies. So hence they're saying the phrase time flies when you're having fun, that there's so much fun packed into this small amount of time, and then the energy is moving faster. So when things are moving faster and more rapid, it's a sign that you're in higher frequency, if that makes sense. Whereas the lower dense frequencies, things kind of just slog along. So I want to talk about something else. They're saying too that this thing about like 5 o'clock, and how someone at 5 o'clock in, New York can be having a communication with someone at, a different time in China, and they can telepathically communicate. And if they're on the same frequency, which is what time really is, it's a frequency, then they get to there's like a loss of time there. Like time doesn't exist because they're able to communicate in this way. So this is the other thing that I want to show. So let's say this is 5 p.m. So if someone is here at 5 p.m. and they're on like this timeline, they may be having an experience, like take me and my husband, for example. I'm here at this timeline, and maybe I'm having like a really great time. I'm in a really great mood. I'm getting a lot done, or maybe I'm really enjoying, life at this moment. And let's say my husband's having a bad day and he's down here, and it's the same time technically for him, but maybe he's not getting anything done and he has a horrible day and he feels like he kind of took 2 steps back. It's because he's existing in a different frame of time as opposed to me. Now, he can always shift this because he can shift time. We can jump timelines, and he could be like, all right, I'm going to decide that this is happening for the best, and maybe I'm going to just go take a walk, and he can then jump up onto this timeline, and we're now experiencing time in a similar fashion because we're at a similar frequency. Okay? So I want to use one more example. So there's also past times, like versions of us that we can tune in with. And because we might be at similar frequencies, the lifetimes are all existing at one time. So let's say there's me here in the Renaissance, and then there's me here now, and then maybe there's a version of me that's here during like, the witch trials or something in the US. Okay. So these are all different time periods. And there's a version of me in each of these. Now, if we're existing in a similar frequency, or pulling in a similar frequency, we can all connect with each other. So these can almost be like guides for me. And this is how we can do like past life regression. We're connecting we're connecting into a frequency that exists, and we're going back to that time, and we're pulling it in. Now, it's not all probably going to be the same exact frequency quite, because we're also in these eras that are collectively holding a different frequency. So that's going to shift. But we're able to connect with all of this because time is a frequency, not a place, not a calendar or structure that we have to move through. It is kind of everywhere, and we can jump to any of these places of time given our frequency or vibration that we choose to be in. So this is getting, pretty conceptual here, but, kind of just let it soak in. And I think over time, it will make a little more sense. So let's jump in and see what else they have to say. They're taking me to the pyramids, and I'm feeling again a sense of the 144,000. The angels are speaking here, but I work with a team of Arcturians and angels. They almost call themselves the A's because it's like they work together. So they're bringing in, and I feel like there's something they're wanting to say here. I'm seeing the tip of the Great Pyramid here, and I'm seeing the number 144 over top of it. So let me just see what they're saying. They're saying it is the frequency of 144,000 that brings all of this time back together. So it's almost like it creates a time capsule. All of these sites that are around the world that are connected. So this Great Pyramid, they're showing me, I'm seeing lines go off the top of it, almost like creating some sort of grid or higher dimensional matrix that connects to all these other places on the planet that represent time periods. And these time periods carry the same frequency. They're doing similar things here. And it is during these times that they have developed another uh, method or piece of the puzzle for everything to be put together. So they're showing me that each of these lines from these sites creates a grid like a puzzle, and everything lights up. So they keep taking me to Egypt specifically and the Great Pyramid. I'm feeling like this is the power center. It's like the generator. When this specific site turns on, um, I don't want to say it ignites all of the other ones, because I do feel the other ones turning on at the same time, but it feels like this has been such a hub because it is so incredibly powerful. It is the power generator of certain points in the planet. And again, I'm feeling Machu Picchu, that is also another one of the power generators. They're also taking me up to Stonehenge. They're making me feel like, and I'm not super familiar with this in my human sense, that there was a energetic structure in the middle of Stonehenge. They're showing me like purple. It's almost like a portal of some sorts that's in the middle of this, and that is also a power generator. It feels like each one of these is connected to a certain energy. It holds certain energy here. Uh, Again, I'm feeling this line Stonehenge to the Great Pyramid to Machu Picchu. These are all connected. And it feels like, what is this purple portal that they are showing me? It's a portal to higher consciousness and higher dimensions. I feel like people used to go here, and they could travel through time, time and space. And these stones served as some sort of energy generator. The stones helped power the portal in the center of them. It looks like this dome, like small dome almost, in the center here. It's still there, but it's not turned on. It is not a physical thing, it feels like. But the the stones are helping to power it and protect it at the same time. It's as if I can feel the stones at Stonehenge turning, and they create like a force field, so that when the center of this gets turned on, a force field is around it, and nothing else can enter into it. It blocks out the dark from entering in, or any ill intentions. Okay, so they're saying something here that I feel like they're kind of saying, but not quite saying. And the feeling I was getting is that when all these sacred sites turn back on, they're all connected, and it's as if they create this new grid around the planet. So, probably around New Earth. And it almost creates like this force field, so that it can't let in any lower dimensional frequency. So it's almost like it ignites this frequency of 144, which becomes 144,000, which then covers the planet. And then we are also ignited into that frequency. So then it connects into us as well. And anything that is below that frequency cannot enter into the planet. So it feels like they knew what they were doing in these past time periods, essentially, as we would call it. They're setting up the grid or force field of protection to ignite when we get to this moment in time. And also, when this ignites, it brings back all of the energy, the higher frequency energy that was utilized in these time periods for us to access and connect to. And I feel like it will open up interaction for higher dimensional, contact and things like that. And we will become not just a planet that is existing and connecting with each other, but a universe that is existing and connecting with each other. So these sacred sites are really important, and they hold a lot of keys to the energy that we're stepping into and becoming. And we're going to utilize a lot of that energy moving forward to protect and build out this not only new Earth, but it feels like this new universe that we're creating. And these energetic grid lines help protect not only our planet, but other planets and the universe as a whole. But we help turn them back on by raising ourselves into that frequency. So we are the key. Our energy holds the key to turning the energy of these sacred sites back on and connecting this grid or this force field that will be put around the new Earth. So we are the key. It's inside of us. And it's almost as if these times and the existence of all these times together already exists, but we just have to raise ourselves up into it and begin to bring it back into our body and our remembrance. They are saying that once the flash takes place for a lot of us, we will begin to commune with the energies of these sites. And it feels like a lot of us will be drawn to certain ones because we had a particular lifetime where we either helped build or create or worked with these sites in a certain way. And we hold the keys within us to turn them back on. So it's as if the sites also connect to something inside of us. And when we release the attachments to the 3D, those attachments are currently taking up the space, the keyhole that these sites would ignite. So when we open up that space and release, it gets reactivated, and that becomes the key to turn these sites back on as well. So it's our bodies are working in congruence with these sacred sites around the world and these structures. And it is our energy that helps to activate them as well, and our intention. We are also a sacred site, but we have to unlock the keys and the codes to bring that site back online. We are very much working towards this point. So as these sites come back online, it is just a reflection of how we have come back online to our true nature. And we become just like these sites and the power that they hold. We should not hold these sites as some sort of god or creative force that we need, that we have to take from. It is here to inform us of who we truly are. The structure itself is reminding us of our own structure within ourselves. We are the pyramid, the Stonehenge, the temple, the Machu Picchu. We are all of these things. We are flowing, activated, high dimensional energy that gets to come back online and commune and work with the earth and the rock and the stone and the water and the light and everything that is present here. We want you to know that all of this is coming. It's coming. And they're making me feel like very much this year. But we have to step up to the plate and release the tanglings that we have been caught in. They're making me feel like there are plugs in our body and our heart space that we are releasing and removing, but that is coming up through circumstance in our lives. And we are being asked to face that and release in a very powerful way, to again release the resentment, the lack, the victimhood that may be here, to release the blame and the shame and the feelings of betrayal that we have encountered, that people have not done what we have wanted them to do, that they disrespected us, that they have taken from us, that they have controlled us and not allowed us to be in our freedom. We are holding on to this and allowing it to keep us in this fight mode. It is time for us to finally release. Let them have their fight. Let them be in that zone of taking and disrespect and all of that. Let them be there. You get to be in your sovereignty and know that you are an abundant being, that all of this is coming for you. The flash, the energy, the higher dimensions, we are moving into these higher times. We are transcending this old paradigm and moving into higher times, into this plane of existence and frequency that vibrates at 144,000. We have to release in order to get there. This is where we are at. Please know that the power that is here for you is of the utmost. You are here to release over these next few months. Step up to the challenge and know that you are moving through it. But we want to bring this forward and remind you that these higher times are coming. And it is time for you to recognize the higher frequency that is available within you and to step into it. It is that time, that frequency that you are at of release and shift and climbing higher. The energy that you are moving at and through is a frequency, and this is a collective one as well. So many are getting stuck in these lower times, and they're having a time with it. Do yourself a favor and step into spending your time more wisely, which is a frequency. Spending your frequency more wisely. If you think about numbers, each number holds a frequency, 3, 10, 11, and those are numbers on a clock. They are projecting a frequency to you when you are in that time. So 3 o'clock. A lot of you get the tinglies and the excitements when you see 333 on a clock or 1111. That is a time frequency being projected at you for you to step into. We are using numbers and time to allow you to step into these higher frequencies so you can be in the highest time available for you, the timeline. It is you walking in a frequency and creating your reality from that frequency of time on your timeline. Do you understand yet how time works and what time really is? It is a paradigm of frequency that you exist in. So when you look at the clock and you see 5 o'clock or 5:55 or 5:51, whatever it may be, it is combining frequencies to help you step into a higher frequency and time for yourself. Each number is bringing in frequency to help you shift. You can take that moment in time when you see that number on the clock and pull it towards you and ask, what are these numbers telling me? It is 5:23. What does each of that number need me to know about how I can shift into the time that I am supposed to be in? And when you shift into that time at that point, you probably won't need to look at the clock again for a little while. We are often drawn to look at the clock. What time is it? What time is it? So that we can have the opportunity to step into the time that is right for us, that is our highest frequency. So every time you go to check the time on the clock, check the energy that you are in. It is helping you step into a new frequency. Do you see how it does this? They have meant to create time as a structure to keep you trapped. And yet, there is always another side to the coin where the higher frequencies have also infiltrated and offer you the opportunity to step into higher times through this. If you are constantly seeing the same numbers, or you are looking at the clock and you're like, wow, I always see 4:44. It is not just the angels that are there for you. It is about the time and the frequency that we are wanting you to step into. So tune in with the number 4:44 and what that frequency is. How does it feel? What does that time period and plane of time look like for you? Are there colors associated with it? Are there beings, guides associated with this number that want to come in and help you? Feel into the version of you that is existing in that time that you are seeing on the clock, because that version of you is wanting to pull you into the higher time with it. They are saying, we understand that not all numbers are represented on your clock, all the possibility of numbers. They're saying we can only work through the structures that are currently built on your planet. But once you recognize the higher energy in each of those structures, you can pull up to the next level and create new structures where we can speak even in an even more expansive way. You are heading to this place. It is expansive. It is pulling through the higher times of each of these times and eras that have existed on your planet and the universe as a whole. You are all creating this new grid. They're showing me that the grid goes beyond Earth and it connects to the grid out into the other planets in the universe. We're creating not just a new Earth grid system, but a universal grid system where we are all connected and we travel and communicate with each other very easily and telepathically. And even up into beyond the planets into the higher realms where the angels exist, they're showing me that the grid feeds into those areas as well. The times that you're moving into are so grand, they will reach far beyond your wildest imaginations. Things that you will build and create, you will never have anticipated being able to create something quite like this, whether these are structures or they are communities or whatever it may be. These things that you will bring forward are coming from within you, but they are being blocked by the attachments to the third dimensional world. You are learning to pull away from that. Most of us have untangled a lot of these cords that keep us attached. It is just about recognizing the plug that is in us. And when we have the higher realization of who we truly are and how we have been attaching to, again, these emotions of deep lack, resentment, resistance, and victimhood, it helps us release and it opens up that pocket for more light to come in. And what is light? It is information. The information of who you truly are and how you can step in and create this grand, new, beautiful, magical, and unexpected world that you are going to create. It is all coming from within you, and it is time now. Call in your future self who is experiencing the flash. They have information for you about how to move to the point that they are at. So, some pretty powerful and in depth messages here. And they're encouraging us to collapse time and connect in with versions of ourselves from this lifetime so that future versions of us can help us and send us signs and energy to help us step into this future version of ourselves. So, the version of us from the solar flash, the version of us that's in the throes of their mission, whatever it may be, you can choose and call in that version of you, and it might give you signals or synchronicities, and it may give you nudges to move in certain directions. You will start following the nudges of the heart or certain excitements to help pull you into that energy of your future self faster. And you can do this specifically with the flash as you pull in that version of you that is experiencing it and what it might be releasing and how it can help you release it. So we're learning to collapse time and work with it in more of a frequency sense so we can step up onto the same plane of time or timeline with these future versions of us. Super exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed this transmission, and stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe, share it with a friend if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming?